So we need to talk about the huge opportunity that 99% of creators are ignoring. And maybe you've been hearing a lot of advice of people telling you just to upload more and you're frustrated because it hasn't been working, or just upload YouTube shorts, like upload as many YouTube shorts as possible. They're going viral right now. You've got to upload YouTube shorts, or just promote your videos on social media and you'll get more views, or just tell stories. Like, what does that even mean? Storytelling, like everybody right now is like, dude, you just got to be a storyteller. If you can tell better stories, which I guess has some merit, but I'm confused. I mean, like, what are we talking about? Or like AI. AI is the answer to everything. I've learned that. Just joined a new marriage program for AI. It's called Powered Up Couples: How to Upload Your Relationship to the Blockchain and Go Deeper with Your Spouse. So anyways, that's a joke. It's stupid. So here's the thing. This video is all about this huge opportunity that literally 99% of YouTube creators are ignoring. And especially if you have a small channel, if you're new, you're going to want to stick around. And this is the Coffee with Cannell show. So the first 15 minutes is going to be some tactics. And if you could check out the time codes and chapters, because in the second part, I'll be doing some live coaching with people's specific YouTube channels. So you can jump around using time codes and chapters. But I love the way that Casey Neistat said it, because he said, if you're doing what everybody else is doing, you're doing it wrong. And so I think that sometimes we got to think a little bit different. Today's video is brought to you by Epidemic Sound, and I will be coming back to that in a second. But before I talk about this strategy that 99% of people are ignoring, we need to go back in time a little bit to share a story with you to reveal how I came across this. And so around 2009, I had a video production business, and I was shooting wedding videos, and I was shooting like YMCA videos and local Seattle hip hop artists. You can see my Canon HV30 there with the sketchiest. I had a little bit of extra cable in this situation, as you can see. And I was waiting tables at the time. And my dream was to be able to quit my 9 to 5, do content full time, build an online business, and do all that kind of stuff. And it was back then that I also, maybe you can relate to, I didn't have a lot of time. Like, I was trying to figure out how to do YouTube as a side hustle. I was trying to figure out how to create content while I was juggling work. My video production business was kind of a side hustle, and I'm waiting tables to pay the bills, trying to earn tips at Red Robin. Yum. And so ultimately I started to make videos. And what was wild was, I was so busy, as you could see, I was filming videos in my car. So I mounted my Droid X in 720p to my dashboard. As you can see, the shot composition and angle is not really the best rule, especially as somebody who literally was doing video production. Like, why was I like, it'd be like, this is the shot composition. Like, I'm just like, all right, welcome to the video. Hey, here we are on a Think Media video. So anyways, this was like the second video I ever uploaded to my channel. You can see it's 12 years ago. And then this was not a good video, but during this time is when I discovered something that changed everything. I found out that there's a better way when it comes to getting views on YouTube. And let me know some of the worst advice you've heard, or maybe it was, you don't know if it's good or bad, but you tried it and it didn't work. Like, everybody wants you to have like better thumbnails. Everyone's like, the Mr. Beast method is the only way. They're calling it the Mr. Beastification of YouTube. And no doubt about it, homie's pulling views, but YouTube's a lot bigger than Mr. Beast. Like, there's other ways to approach this thing. Not everybody needs to be full-time charged up energy, spend $3 million per video and just drive trains into giant holes, right? There's other ways to do things, and even more practical ways. So what I stumbled on, and you're going to start to see a trend in some of these videos, was I started to kind of like switch up my strategy. Even though my video production wasn't very good, my camera wasn't very good, my location wasn't very good, I was like multitasking. Probably shouldn't have done that. Disclaimer, it's probably best not to like make videos while you're driving, although there are some truck driver channels that follow our channel. Just be safe, mount your camera. I guess it's kind of like talking on the phone, but anyways, at least I mounted it to my dashboard here, and you can see me with a better shot composition on this next video. I feel a lot better about this shot comp. You can actually see my dog Sophie right there, who I love. Unfortunately, she's dead. We are heartbroken. She lived with us though like 16 years. My wife and I have been married 17 years, and our dog was with us almost that entire time. There's a dark Okay. Anyways, it really is kind of sad seeing her. So, and it's probably unsafe to have her running around the car. If PETA is here, don't just don't leave a comment. Okay, just relax. But yeah, Sophie was running around the car at this moment, and you could see here though, this was the pivot. This is what changed. The video topic was video editing PC tips, how to build an HD video editing computer. Because what I had done is I have been doing video at this moment for 20 years. At that time, I'd been doing video for 10 years. So I was kind of scratching my own itch. Like I had built a video editing computer, hard drive speed, RAM, video cards, like how's it, everything, a good motherboard, how do you build it from scratch? If you're having issues with like scrubbing on the timeline, and technology wasn't as good as it was today. And so I was sharing on YouTube my experience, my pain points, the things I'd achieved, the problems that I had solved. And so what I discovered here was the thing that 99% of YouTube creators are honestly ignoring right now this year, and that's still a huge opportunity, is search-based content. And I want to share with you 7 reasons why this is so powerful. And even if you think you're doing it, you're probably not maximizing it. But what happened was I started to pivot. As you can see here, there's the bad shot composition video again. How to get started in video production and video editing. My first couple videos got like no views, but once I started making like actual valuable videos that were answering specific questions, solving specific problems, and that were about topics that people were actually searching for, I actually started to get some pretty decent results, even though I was filming in my car with this angle, because I was sharing from my experience. I had some real experience. I had some lessons. I had some mistakes. And so I was sharing valuable information, and people that would go to YouTube and be like, how do you get started in video production and video editing, would find my video. So if you're wondering like how did Think Media grow, like Sean, today it's like Think Media is 30 people and all this stuff is kind of happening and it's pretty wild what's happening. How did it grow? There's no we, it was just me, Sophie, and my wife, and eventually Rosie, and she's dead too. And why is it so? I laugh when I'm in pain. That's awful. But literally all of our dogs are dead. I didn't expect the video to go this way, but let's go back. What was I doing? I was making search-based videos. So it wasn't a team. It was just me. I was the only creator, only editor. I was figuring out how to do this with a challenging schedule. I had a 9 to 5, but it was search-based content that was the bridge from starting to where I am today. And what we're going to talk about is 7 powerful things related to this. But if you notice, I leveled up a little bit and I went back and changed my thumbnails. You could see that other thumbnail, it wasn't that the thumbnails got better. It actually was like 2, 3, 4 years later that I went back and uploaded that thumbnail on that second video. And much better. You could see the case that I built the PC in, put some text on screen, but 11,000 views. So if you're here starting, trying to figure out, man, how do I get my first 1,000 subscribers? How do I get my channel started? How do I start to grow? Don't get me wrong. There's other forms of content, but a lot of times people get frustrated because they're trying to go viral. They're trying to be a master storyteller, but they haven't figured that out yet. When there's a much more practical, they're trying to hit home runs when you could just hit a base hit with search-based content. And so what I started to do was I started to also really understand who I was making content for. The early days of Think Media, I'd make a video for really churches, because we had this other channel called Think International, and it was like faith leaders and people in media and different stuff. And so I made like this video, Best Church Video Announcements, which was a search term. And actually, this was kind of how I micro blew up. I mean, 82,000 views 12 years ago. But really early on, I really became known in a smaller niche. Side note, if you haven't heard about our Think Media podcast, we'll link that up in the show notes. So we have a whole series about like marketing warfare and niching down. But I wrote a book called YouTube for Churches. And a lot of times it's helpful to have a much smaller target audience, if you will. And that's kind of what it was. So all of a sudden now people are discovering my channel because I'm making search-based content. And in just a second, I'm going to be sharing about why this works so powerfully. But then I would share like video blogging tips and tricks, 22,000 views, how to record Skype interviews. Side note, before things were easier than they are today with all this cool software and being able to like go live like this or record interviews, it was not easy 12 years ago. Like your homeboy's been in the game. And how to record Skype was like a legendary answering specific questions. So I got 22,000 views. I was talking about like specific a fisheye lens that I put on my Canon Vixia, 64,000 views. And so the big key here is search-based content. But I need to share with you 7 reasons why this is so powerful and why 99% of people are missing out on the power of this. But first, check out this quick spot from Omar and our sponsor, Epidemic Sound, and I'll be right back with those 7 things.
This video is sponsored by Epidemic Sound.
One danger in creating videos and putting all your hard work into an edit and not having royalty-free music is uploading your video to the internet and then it getting taken down and maybe shutting down whatever account you actually uploaded it on. It's a very scary thing that's actually happening nowadays. And what you need is royalty-free music. And unfortunately, it's hard to find royalty-free music that's not only easily accessible, but also easy to find. And so what's incredible about Epidemic Sound is they have a huge library of audio tracks that you could browse easily, but also sound legit. A lot of these songs sound like they should be on the radio, and that's what I love about it. We can find the song and match the vibe we are going for. A lot of times I like using hip hop trap songs. And what's so cool about downloading a track that you like on Epidemic Sound is that they actually give you the stems of a song. So if there's like an instrument that you like inside of the song that's all you want, you could download that stem and use that in your video. And if you are looking for sound effects for your videos to take your edits to the next level, there's a huge library and their ability to search for that is so easy. A lot of the times I'll throw up a price on a YouTube video when I'm doing like a tech gear review, and I'll just type in cash register and it gives me the perfect sound that I want when I add that price on screen, and it just re-engages the attention of the viewer.
To sign up, go to thinkmediasounds.com. Thank you so much, Epidemic Sound, for sponsoring this video.
Yeah, we love Epidemic Sounds. Music will take your videos to another level. And if you go to thinkmediasounds.com, you can get a 30-day free trial and 50% off for 2 months. We've been using Epidemic since before they were a sponsor. So if you want to take your music to another level and avoid copyright issues, which is a huge key, check out the link in the description. But let's talk about the 7 powerful benefits of search-based content. And if you could smash the like button if you're getting value, then definitely hit that. We're going to jump into some coaching in just a second on our Coffee with Cannell show. But let's talk about these. So number 1, increased visibility. So content that aligns with popular search queries is more likely to appear in search results, which gives you increased visibility. So this can lead to likes, comments, awareness, and ultimately it is a practical way. People ask me all the time, Sean, like, how do I get discovered when I have 0 subscribers, 0 views, when nobody knows me? You got to tap into the power of search-based content. And a lot of times, even the people that lean more viral and suggested-based content still start with search-based content, even as their first couple of videos, to attract a very specific audience and to get their channel started. Number 2 is increased audience retention. So if your video is exactly what someone is searching for, they're more likely to stay and watch the whole video and even explore your other content, assuming your channel is not a bunch of random stuff and they didn't just find one video on your channel about a specific topic, look at your library and they're like, I can't find anything else like it. But if they can, think about it. Intent is so high when someone searches for something, finds your video. And if your video isn't a waste of time, meaning it's not just like one part that answers the question, then if the video needs to be watched to deliver the answer to the search, then ultimately you can have increased audience retention, which is a huge key factor in cracking through YouTube's algorithm. Now, think about this as well. If you're trying to get 4,000 watch hours, if you have a search-based video that ranks in search and people are finding it and they're watching a lot of time on it, and then YouTube promotes it more because you're getting average view duration, then that is a win-win-win-win-win. It'll get you to monetization faster, grow your channel faster. So increased audience retention is another benefit. Number 3, a targeted audience. So search-based content allows for you to attract a very targeted audience depending on what the video it is you're making. Like if you're making a tutorial on a specific software, then obviously you're attracting somebody who wants to learn that exact software. There's giant channels that have built lucrative careers off of teaching Microsoft Word, Excel. Miss Excel was on our Think Media podcast. She in 2020 got disrupted by the pandemic, was like, I don't want to work in a corporate job anymore. And so she started to create content around Word, or rather Microsoft Excel. Now it's the entire Microsoft suite. Now she's doing like 6 figures a month and her whole story is crazy. And she's able to kind of go full time and build a career in an online business. But really, she's doing search-based content. It's like a specific software, specific pain point, attracting specific viewers that are interested in that software. You can do this in any niche, but that would be one example of how targeted of an audience you'd attract. Now, number 4 is SEO benefits. So never forget that YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, right? And so well-optimized search-based content can not only rank high in YouTube search, but it can also rank on Google. We get something like 1 to 3 million views a year on Think Media from Google, not because we have a good website. I kind of have a website, but like it's a whole nother story. Not really. Like we have like just our YouTube channel, but YouTube videos rank on Google. You know, Alphabet is the parent company of YouTube and Google, and they talk to each other. And so you can significantly increase your content's reach by creating search-based content. Are you going to start creating some search-based content? Let me know in the comments. Have you made any videos that rank in search? Do you get search traffic if you look at your analytics? And are you thinking about starting? Let me know. Number 5, monetization opportunities. So, of course, when views come in, you can get an engaged audience. You could get to monetization faster. But the little known benefit here is the fact that, for example, like in affiliate marketing, which we don't really have time to go into that. If you want to learn a little bit more about that and many things, check out our free challenge that's coming out starting soon at tube1kchallenge.com. But monetization opportunities on search-based content, for example, affiliate marketing. When someone's intent is to look for a specific thing and find a specific video, and then it's related to a specific product, then ultimately when they find that video and they're like, this is exactly what I was looking for. And you're like, hey, if you want to check out links in the description down below, it converts at such a higher level in terms of sales, money, monetization, even if you haven't qualified for the YouTube Partner Program yet. That's the power of search-based content. So why people are over here, and I understand there's all different perspectives on YouTube, but it's one of the biggest opportunities with this is how much hate search-based content gets these days. Like I am so shocked whenever I see Minecraft 46 in my comments just being like, you know, why are you making your videos wrong? You didn't get the views, Mr. Beast. And I'm like, cool, bro. But here's the thing, dog. I'm seeing you in the comments, but I've never seen you at the bank. Like, I don't know if you understand what's happening here. Like, I think like we've earned, by the way, thank you for your support, because I know it serves people to answer their questions about tech and cameras. We have like $30,000 we've made in the last 30 days off the Amazon Affiliate Associates program, talking about specific answers to specific questions related to affiliate marketing. So what Minecraft 46 can't see is they can't see your profit and loss statement. The haters can't see like what's really happening. So it's not just about big viral views. It's about your money plan. It's about your business plan. And search-based content has so many benefits that is unseen by everybody that's obsessed with vanity metrics and just trying to chase the algorithm and chase virality. Like it's really, people aren't even realizing what's really happening behind the scenes. There's some real monetization opportunities out here. And number 6 is channel growth. So by regularly creating search-based content, you can steadily grow your channel's audience over time. Big key, over time. So I also saw, you know, Karen 42 in my comments, and she was like, oh, your video only got 7,000 views in the first day. Look at you, have so many subscribers. And I'm like, okay, Karen, how about you check back on that video in 24 months? Because search-based content doesn't go as parabolic as suggested content. Don't get me wrong. you should make viral videos all day long. This isn't an either or thing. This is an and thing. But the fascinating thing about search-based content is it's not as flashy up front, but you can get views for weeks, months, and years to come. So key word here is steadily grow your channel's audience over time. One of my favorite stories is The Tortoise and the Hare. Did you read that book? Did you grow up with it? The Tortoise and the Hare. And a lot of people, like the majority of content creators, and the mentality right now is everyone's trying to be the hare. Everyone's trying to go viral, chase vanity metrics, go crazy. And if you can sustain that, good for you. But ultimately, if we remember what happened there was the hare was arrogant. The hare kind of got cocky. The hare thought like, I'll just run and I'll sprint. But meanwhile, the tortoise was just going slow. It wasn't sexy. The tortoise was just going one step at a time. And I think about back to my journey 13 years ago, I started Think Media. I was just uploading one video at a time, and it wasn't super sexy, and there wasn't these breakout moments. By the way, along the way, there's been some viral videos. Grateful for it. By the way, like recently now, YouTube Shorts are going parabolic. Like we're having some different stuff happen, but I'm still obsessed with being the tortoise. Like I'm ready to go slow, man. I just want to do one video at a time, get a few views here and there because they compound. It's wild. If we walk away from Think Media, we're still get like 100, 200,000 views every single day for probably 2 years if we never upload it again. By the way, probably longer than 2 years. It would go down. We'd probably have a 200,000 for 6 months without even really going down. I have 10-year-old videos that are still getting views and growing the channel and making ad revenue and getting subscribers. They're over 10 years old. People out here trying to talk about search content doesn't work, like search-based content. Like, come at me, man. Let's invite me on the podcast. Let's debate it. Invite me on the show. I'm ready to go toe to toe with anybody that wants to talk about this search-based content game because there's some real channel growth here, but it can be slow. Don't get me wrong. It might not be super sexy, but would you be willing to chip away at your dreams one video at a time if it took you 1 year? How about 2 years? What if it took you 3 years to be full-time, bills paid, being able to kind of have freedom to do what you want, when you want, where you want? What if it took you 4 years, but you just steadily worked toward the goal? How about 5 years? You're willing to put in the work, 5 years, one video at a time. Along the way, there's some bright spots. There's some things that happen, but it takes you 5 years to build up a base that's unbreakable, though, anti-fragile. Like you have a recession-proof YouTube channel. Would you be willing to put in the work? This channel growth is real. And as your videos start ranking for more and more search terms, you'll attract a wider audience and you'll even gain more subscribers. Number 7, and I do have a warning though, but number 7 is evergreen content, because search-based content often includes evergreen topics, and those topics remain relevant and interesting to viewers over long periods of time. This type of content can attract views and engagement long after it was first posted. And I just mentioned that I've got 10-year-old videos that are still getting views. Do you? And the problem I've seen with the chasing virality and being the hare and not the tortoise is the problem is some of those creators, a lot of those creators have come and gone. 15 minutes of fame. They were hot for a year. They were up and then they were down. Maybe they weren't able to reinvent themselves. They burnt out. And I just feel like I've been over here under the radar. Like people don't even know Think Media yet. Like we're just chilling over here, literally supporting with the business that we're building 30 people. And and you wouldn't even know it. Like you wouldn't even see, because maybe it's not as flashy as what everybody else is doing, but that is the power of search-based content. Now, reminder and warning though, is that you want to balance search-based content with other types of content. And so ultimately search-based is not the only kind of content you want to create. Like that's not what I'm saying. And I don't even need to defend myself. I want to get better at like not defending myself, because if you make like polarizing statements, it triggers more people and they leave more comments. Like, because I mean, you can argue every point and every angle. Oh, Sean, are you saying that that's the only thing? Yeah, but I watched this other, like, relax, Ricky. Like, it's going to be okay, Karen. Like we can chill out. Like, this is just one piece of the bigger content pie. But honestly, it's the missing piece of a lot of creators. It really is. It's the forgotten. And let me just encourage you with this as we get ready to go into some of our coaching and our Q&A, and smash like if you've been getting value. Like when everybody starts to ignore and forget and dishonor a strategy that is effective, but they start chasing the shiniest thing or the latest thing, like that's a massive opportunity. Like it's a massive opportunity to double down and triple down on the fundamentals. You know, Michael Jordan would say, master the fundamentals and everything else you do will rise. There's just something about mastering search-based content. A critic would be like, oh yeah, Sean's still on that search-based stuff. Like, no. Balance search-based with the other content, but like this is still my favorite kind of content. Like we're at Think Media, you can check out the channel. Like we're doing the different stuff, but as it plays out over time, maybe it's the gray in my beard that has just taught me how powerful this is. There's something about being 13 years in the game, still standing, you know, healthy, wealthy, and wise, like looking back and thinking about, okay, I see how this plays out over the long game, and I see the power of slow and steady wins. I want to be the tortoise and not the hare. I want to ultimately build something that's anti-fragile, recession-proof, unbreakable. And my friend, that is search-based content. Now, if you have more questions about this, we're about to get into some guests. Smash like if you've been learning something today. We're bringing some people onto the show, I believe, and we're testing out some new stuff here in StreamYard. But if you want to learn a little bit more about this, and this is one of, we teach 16 different strategies. This is one of them. But if you want to learn more of these in a free challenge that we're doing coming up next week, depending on when you're watching this, is a challenge that is happening at tube1kchallenge.com for 5 days, one session a day. I'm going to be going deep, about an hour. And we have 4 special guests coming on as well. And it's totally free. And so you could go to tube1kchallenge.com if you want to register. We're giving away a YouTube studio. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it's all about how to get your first or next 1,000 subscribers, and also multiple different ways of earning $1,000 on YouTube. So if you haven't registered, register. Link in the description down below. If you have any questions about it, let me know. If you have any questions, put 4 question marks before and after your question. If you are fired up for the Coffee with Cannell show, let me know what you're drinking. I already had my coffee, but I'm sipping on some BCAAs and creatine. I don't even know why I don't work out, but I just thought, you know, it's dumb. Okay. Smash like if you're grateful. And I can't wait to get into today's Coffee with Cannell show. Here we go. Okay, on the Coffee with Cannell show, we can bring you on. So they're dropping the link. There's a link in the description if you want to join me on camera. Just make sure you like have a decent internet connection, decent audio, and all that kind of stuff. We'll meet you in the green room. We got a green room now, backstage with StreamYard. But if you have a question about YouTube, 4 questions before and after helps me see it in the live chat. What has been your aha moment today related to search-based content out here in the world? I do think we might have somebody. Let me know. And I don't know how to do it, Victoria, Kyle, so we can do that in a second. But here we go. Should I share personal beliefs in my introductory video? You totally can, Joshua, but nobody cares. And let me say that with more kindness, but they just really don't. Like, in fact, on today's video, I think the idea when you first start YouTube is you can start with search-based content, value-based content, and really meet strangers. People are too busy. Like, people that are coming on YouTube aren't like, what's your personal story? What are your beliefs? Like, I'm trying to solve a problem, but like, can you just take a second to tell me about your background? Like, nobody cares. I think that's important to know. Now, you might go, well, Sean, you've made other videos where you talk about people connect with your values and beliefs. Yeah, eventually, but they meet you at the pain point first, or the problem first, or the ambition first, or being entertained first. They get to know you. It then creates interest in you. And as you weave in your beliefs to your content, here's what I'd prefer. I would prefer you make valuable videos that add value to the audience. that have your beliefs woven into them. And how would you do that? Well, you might make a nugget, like you might be breaking something down and talk about, 3 benefits of YouTube. 1, you can make money. Like 2, you could grow your influence. 3, you can make an impact. And for example, like it's really important to me to make a difference to the world. And as my YouTube channel has grown, our company now supports over 100 children through Compassion International. It's a huge value of ours. Number 4, and so you can include a value like in a sentence, but I don't even think you need an introduction video. Like someday you could do it, but nobody cares about your introduction video. They care about being educated or entertained, and find ways to weave your values in. Someday later, you might have a podcast. You might be on someone's podcast. You might be speaking on stage. There's other times where I think you go deeper in that stuff, but like be brief, be bright, be fun, and be done. Post the video, maybe touch on a belief, but ain't no need to like really unpack your story. How do you get around having resting bee face? It's a good question. Well, you're far down the road, I think, on that, because you're self-aware. Self-awareness is a superpower. And so I think that if you are aware of how you look on camera, I think the way you could get around it is change it. Like train your face different. This is a real thing. Like, my background's in church. And so I was also a director of communications, moved to Las Vegas, 2011. So I was managing like social media. And also we had like an online campus. And so we had video and we're streaming it. And this is one of the biggest things that people would not realize. So there's like the praise and worship team, and they'd all be like up on stage, and like when they're singing, like they'd be, singing, and they knew they were on camera and whatever. And then when like transition would happen, they'd like go off into the background, and then like the pastor would like come up front, but then they'd be standing off in the background like this, and then the RBF would come out. They'd be like, and what they didn't realize was they were still on camera. See, there's something about like when you're in production, and even if you're on like a show, if you sit on stage at a panel, I see this all the time. Novices get invited onto a panel at a conference, and they don't realize that they've got resting bee face when they're not talking on the microphone. Now, maybe you have that same face when you are talking on the microphone, but the fact you identified it just shows that you can change it. Like self-awareness is the first step in almost anything. So what did we learn? Well, we learned that, when someone was stage center doing a transition, that someone was off to the left or the right behind them, was like, just stay engaged. Eye contact on the person speaking, which actually reinforces people watching that individual off the camera. Maybe put a little smirk on, a little smile, a little thoughtfulness. Even when I'm interviewing people on like Zoom or whatever, like, while the other person's talking, you don't want to be like, whatever face you do, you can put a smile on your face, and then practice for 20 years. I mean, that's then just, you watch your game tape back, you watch the video back, and then I think that's the real key. And so I don't know what Kyle wants me to do. I think we're supposed to bring somebody on, but he came on camera. I can't see people in the green room chat, but here we are. And I see people. Are we having anyone on? Or are you going to tell me in the studio chat when we are? There's some starred questions. I'm going to keep it going. Coffee with Cannell. Cheers, friends. Smash like, drop your questions, and we are bringing on guests. Nothing else is also coming in the studio chat. Oh, okay, great. Perfect. So you'll tell me when you're ready. Thank you. We're resolving some tech issues, and so we're answering your starred questions. I want to thank you for the super chat. Sean, you have changed my life in more ways than you can ever know. I feel like I owe you so much, and I can't thank you enough for all the free info you share. Thank you. AO Hammer, I appreciate you. Grateful for you. Thanks so much for the kind words. And appreciate you being a part of the Coffee with Cannell show. Today, it's BCAs with Cannell. That doesn't like flow as good. A lot of starred questions. Good. That last one got me going, Simon. That was a great question. That was fun. All right. Hey, Yet, is there any specific time for uploading YouTube videos and shorts? The answer is kind of like no. And we just had an episode. We'll link it up in the description. If you didn't see our episode with Renee Ritchie, YouTube employee, the way the algorithms work today is that there's no specific time. Like if the video is good and it has good signals, click-through rate, engagement, people don't swipe away on shorts, watch, average view duration, average percentage viewed, all the stuff, it will do well. And another good example, since we just talked about search-based content, let me ask you this. If you said, Sean, what time did you upload that video that's still getting views 10 years later? I don't freaking know. What time did I don't know. Was it a Monday? Was it a Thursday? Was it 8 a.m. or was it 9:45? It's still getting views 10 years later. So it does not matter. Fair? So if you are, when Todd said that the other day at an event that I heard him, another YouTube employee, he was saying like shelf life, like YouTube, never underestimate 3 weeks of your content. Never underestimate 180 days later, 300 days later on your content. Last thing I'd say is that once your channel's seasoned up a little bit, make sure to go into your back end and at least upload your content. It gives you like when your viewers are online. So it could hurt your video that it never really takes off to upload in the middle of the night when your viewers aren't asleep. So you be thoughtful about when you make it public, if you will. But what's a lot more important is making a great video. All right, we are ready for our first guest, and I am fired up today. We're going to bring Taitar. Is that your name? How do I say it, man? Thanks for coming on the show. Let me know your name and what's your question.
Taitar. Yeah, Taitar.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you. What's your question?
Real quick, I'm hearing you. I want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. It's a little delayed. I'm hearing you through the YouTube live stream. How can I listen to you live?
You could shut down the YouTube live stream and you should be able to hear the StreamYard window that you're connected to. So at StreamYard.com, like / wherever is the room you're in, and like making sure that you've got that turned on and your settings there.
Okay, I'm going to try that right now. Thank you for having me on, by the way, because I'm not hearing you through the YouTube live or the StreamYard. So just 1 second here. Because everything else is working on my end, it seems, but I can't seem to hear you on StreamYards for some reason. Let's see.
Let me check in with you in a second. I'll throw you back in the green room, and then we'll come back and we'll see if Kyle.
I hear you now.
Okay, cool.
I do hear you now. Sorry about that. So yeah, I just was curious. So I do a gaming channel. It was very difficult to kind of scale it up a little bit, but listening to your guys' advice and also vidIQ, I was able to scale it pretty effectively. I found that making content that I thought was, the most enjoyable content wasn't always the best fit, but serving the audience was actually the better way to do things. It's been a very difficult challenge for me to find innovative ways to scale up the channel. The only real way I've been able to do that so far has been by covering older games. I've kind of found a niche with like older gaming communities. I do lots of entertainment-based challenge stuff. I'm tackling YouTube Shorts as well. I'm trying to do innovative shorts, things like that. So I guess my question is
this the right channel for you?
Yep.
Like Taitar?
That is it. Yeah, that's it. I was curious what you thought about my titles, my thumbnails. I put a lot of work into my thumbnails, my video editing. I spent a good deal of time. I'm actually right now, but I saw you were live. I was like, oh, maybe I could get him to answer some of my questions. I watch your streams all the time, so I appreciate you taking me on the show.
Great. Awesome question. So titles and thumbnails. So I think that one, I think the thing I like to jump into is studying others in the niche. And so looking at Sims, let's see, Sims 2, Sims 4. So what's probably hottest right now? Sims wise?
I would say Sims 4, but the challenge I face is anytime I do anything Sims 4 related, my views are a fourth. And I don't know if it's because I'm getting buried by the bigger players in the field, or if it's, I'm not sure. Maybe I've pulled together an audience that enjoys the older Sims games more. I know there's some controversy with Sims 4, meaning most people don't like it as compared to Sims 1, 2, and 3. I do a lot of Sims content because my viewers enjoy it, but I guess my big question is how can I branch into other games effectively without losing my core audience and pulling in a new audience that can appreciate the challenge-based videos that I am doing? Because basically I do a bunch of silly challenges, things like that, and the viewers typically enjoy the outcome at the end of the video, because when I win, I'll give out a prize. If I lose, I will do a punishment for them, and I do that on my live streams as well.
Great. One thing I want to just kind of share with our community here is, as I'm studying this out, is using Google Trends. If y'all in the Think Media community are not using Google Trends, it could be a cool way to kind of like study interest in a topic over time, and you want to be in front of as much as possible topics that are popular. I mean, I get it that if everyone's making 4, that might be hard to break through, and so you're trying to be like a bigger fish in a smaller pond. But the amount of interest in like the Sims 4 versus 2, it's 50 times more in the Sims 4. I think you're probably onto something right when it comes out to you know, maybe trying both, but that would just be thing one. I think thing two would be I like to head over to just like a search and to study out like, okay, so a review of The Sims, playing The Sims. These are obviously, you know, multi-million channel subscriber channels, so that's a big advantage. Let's see, gameplay. So let's see, The Sims 4 challenge, and you're doing challenges, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
So this is a little bit different. These are actually challenges. I kind of like some of this stuff, like just as if we share my advice, number one, I'm not the biggest for gaming channels, but number two, my approach to gaming channels, Taitar, is I think about back when I played Last of Us 1 and 2 and Final Fantasy Remake. I was on YouTube all the time trying to solve specific problems. I was trying to figure out the 10 basics, like how to use my materia on Final Fantasy. I was trying to figure out how to beat certain bosses. And I was seeing a lot of videos that had like 100,000 views. So this isn't a challenge, right? This would be challenges that the player can play. Not even a huge channel, but got 653,000 views. This really reinforces, I believe, what we just talked about at the beginning here, which was like search-based content. I think that's interesting. And so is this kind of what you're doing? I tried the toddler to adult challenge in Sims 4.
You can always feel free to pull up a video of mine. I'm not trying to promote it or anything, but basically, in short, I try to make it more humor-based and more comedy-based than anything. That's one thing. And on the shorts front, I try to do something that I don't like to, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm here to learn. I try not to repurpose my content through shorts. I try to create original shorts. I do like visual effects. Okay,
that's best practice.
Okay, good. It does take extra time and effort, but I do Sims in real life. The fans typically enjoy it. So it's kind of, yeah, you can kind of see it right there. I make different skits and stuff like that. And it has been working pretty well. I'm not really punching through though. So here's kind of the special effects I'll do.
Yeah, I think you're onto something here. I think this could eventually, that's all very cool. It's nice and short. That could break through. That could just be going deeper and trying to think about what the hook is. What I guess I'm after, have you went and deeply studied the most successful Sims shorts and Sims channels?
Yeah, and so that's kind of where I'm stuck, because when I study them, it's kind of what you described, where there's a lot of guides and how-tos, and that doesn't really fit kind of the channel brand that I've pulled together. And so I'm trying to find a creative way to basically be what the channel is, kind of like this, where I set up a challenge and then I set the stakes and I basically do the challenge, right? And the issue I'm having is because I'm unknown in the field of YouTube. I know I got some funny memes and stuff there, but because I'm not really known, people don't really care to click, but they would care to click if we did like search-based content, if that's making sense. So I'm almost wondering, do I lean more towards the search-based just to get some more traction? But I also don't feel like it's true to the brand and overall vision, which is something I'm finding these contradictory sort of, like, do I settle for views or do I kind of stick to what I'm trying to go for here, if that makes sense?
Well, ultimately it's up to you, but this, where we've come in this conversation, I think is really powerful because it is YouTube. So it is your tube. You can do what you want. And the thing that stands out to me though, is you've really connected deeply and fallen in love with the way I heard you say it was like the brand of the channel. I think that this can sometimes be a hard conversation for creators that I talk with because they feel this huge tension between like business and art. They feel a tension between, I just want to be a creative. Why do I have to like necessarily do things a certain way? If I want to even make money on YouTube, why can't I just like share my art? And the truth is, well, you can, but if you come into something with a business mindset, you actually come into it saying first, what is actually the market asking for? Not what do I want to create? I think when trying to get traction, it's a lot smarter, personal opinion, to be practical and not feel like you're going to be in such a box. I think like if I give you some firm coaching and just direct, like your brand doesn't matter if nobody ever finds it. Content is king, but marketing is queen, and she runs the household. So some of the best content is not being watched right now if it doesn't ultimately get discovered because of thinking about what will get views. But maybe to build a bridge between kind of where you're coming from and what I'm saying, I think it's just really smart to be practical, to build an audience and get awareness that people would see you're funny, they would see your content, and then they might be interested in things like, it actually so deeply ties into this exact theme. Use search-based content to get discovered in the first place. And then once people find you, they start being like, they're already there. So they're subscribed. So now they can actually go deeper with you. You drop a video that's kind of like more mystery suggested based. They're like, oh, that sounds cool. But like, until you actually have a core audience, diverting into like, this is the way I feel like doing it, can ultimately lead you down a path of struggling to grow. Here's your options. Your options are, though, is to keep following your intuition, to keep following your gut, to build the brand you want, and to hope it breaks through. And it might. And if you also are just, you ultimately want to be at peace with your approach. Be like, I'm cool. If it takes 10 years, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I like my style. I like the memes. I like the comedy. I like what I'm doing. It's just about being self-aware to be like, that's, I know exactly what I'm doing and I'm cool with that. On the flip side, if you're like, I would much rather, do you have like a day job right now and you'd love to do this full time?
I actually quit my job to go all in, kind of based off of what you guys have suggested. And the truth of it is, I know you guys didn't say quit your job and do this, but I've gone all in because I believe that much in the dream. Yeah. I believe that much in the brand. And at the same time, I really agree with what you're saying. And this is why I wanted to speak with you, because search-based might be the best way to go. And I've just been kind of struggling because on one hand, I hear search-based is the thing, but you also want to make sure you're sticking true to who you are and your brand. But ultimately, I'm trying to treat this like a business that I can have the creative freedom in. But yeah, I'm all in on this. I sold my place and now I'm doing it.
That's amazing. I love the courage and the step out there. And what I would, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying search-based is the only way. What I am saying is studying out like perhaps the trending things, studying out things that like you're still into because you like Sims, but that are maybe just different than the exact content format you feel committed to. Probably what most of us listening to this live or on the replay could have learned from at any stage in our career is to take a few steps back and get a fresh perspective and realize, okay, if what I've been doing for a while, if I've done 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 videos in a particular way and I haven't quite broken out, there's probably a pivot needed. Let me try to pivot the content format, pivot the titles, pivot the thumbnails, pivot the approach, and try something else and continue to kind of pivot. But the shortcut to finding really what works, I don't mean copy popular videos, but if like there's a particular thing that's happening in Sims culture, search-based, like if it's like challenges that people can do and you're able to share that, or just if it's, whatever else you can learn by going and doing the reconnaissance, but it's with a particular mentality that you're doing the reconnaissance. You're going with the journal in hand, thinking, okay, my thumbnail approach, my topic approach. And again, at the end of the day, it's like you being practical, I believe, is the pathway to then being profitable, and being profitable is the key that unlocks your dreams. Because once you have a level of subscribers and an audience and so on and so forth, people might be like, oh my gosh, you make a living from your art. Like you're a comedian, like you're, and there's actually a cool book called, everyone's heard the quote, Starving Artist. And there's a great book by Jeff Goins called Real Artists Don't Starve. And it's kind of about it's so good for content creators because it's content creators. And I get it. Like we get comments like, yeah, but I just, come on, this thing is so, you expect me to be so technical. Like it's, Sean, all you talk about is money, or like, man, you're taking all the life out of it, all the heart out of it, and all the art out of it. And that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying like real artists don't starve. Like, let's find a way to fund your passion. Let's find a way to build a bridge to practicality of a baseline of 1,000 true fans and monetization streams and all that stuff we talk about, so that you can fund your art for the rest of your life. It's really it's not a black or white answer. It's not a problem to be solved. It's a tension to be managed. The tension between money and art, the tension to be creating the videos you want versus the tension of the videos that the algorithm wants. People go, I just want to make the videos I want to make. It's like, well, good. You should make the videos you want to make. But if it doesn't work, you just need to be okay with the results. Vice versa. I don't want to just make the videos that'll please the algorithm, or that'll just be clickbait, or that'll just get views and that'll just make money. Okay, well then you don't want money. Like that's what I heard you. So that's fine. Like, but it's not either or. People get all bent out of shape on the extremes. I think it's about finding a tension in between. So I hope this convo's helped you. For time's sake, I want to jump in with we have a couple other guests, but has there been any clear takeaways for you here, Taitar?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for having me on, Sean. I've been watching your content for quite a while. You've actually helped me get to almost 3,000 subscribers. So thank you. And the multiple streams of income have actually come from your advice. I'd say the biggest takeaway I've had so far is not necessarily that I need to be entirely search-based. And if I decide to go down the route of just doing things that I enjoy, which are not necessarily Sims, but gaming challenges is kind of what I want to go down, is trying to find a way to blend the two ideas together in a creative, clever way where people want to click and it's search-based, but at the same time, they see the true colors of me coming through, essentially. So I appreciate you. And my fans are loving the content. And a lot of it is because of a lot of the tactics you guys have taught at Think Media. So thank you so much for having me on.
I appreciate you so much. Thanks for coming on, and thanks for being a part of our community. Appreciate you. All right, man. Give Taitar some love in the chat. Smash like button if you are fired up for today. We have 2 people on deck for coffee with Cannell, but I wanted to hit a super chat. 2 more that have come in. The real John's talking about how can you have a balance of both? A balance of what? Search-based and viral challenge content. How can you have a balance of what? YouTube shorts versus long form. I think the key, the real John, is that what you want to do is think about who is your channel for and what value does it deliver to the viewer. You can deliver up that value in multiple different ways. We call it the Cinnabon strategy. If you're walking through the mall, I know these aren't as popular anymore, but I grew up as a mall rat. I'd be walking through the mall, and sure enough, there was some beautiful old lady standing there with a tray of Cinnabon samples. And then the Cinnabon samples were little cups. Anybody remember Cinnabon? Come on, that is a good way to destroy your diet. And so I'd be walking through, and I would walk up to the tray and be like, would you like a sample? And I'm like, okay, can I have 3 for my 3 friends? God forgive me, I didn't have any friends. I just took, and I wanted to eat. I didn't want to pay full price. I just wanted the free samples. So I take like the 3 samples, eat those. Of course, the point of the sample is what? So that you try it, you're like, oh, now the cinnamon and the sugar and the butter, it reached me. It reached my soul. So you head in, you go to the counter, and now you have a decision to make. Do I want the Minibon or the full-size Cinnabon? Am I going mini or am I going full size? I already had 3 samples. And when I think about the Cinnabon strategy, it's simply that you could have a sample, a mini bond, or the full size. That's like YouTube shorts, 5 to 10 minute videos on YouTube and longer form videos on YouTube. It's all Cinnabon. So ultimately, the reason you can have a balance, like you could do search based, and like it's just what promise has your channel made? On this channel, we help you build your influence with video. By the way, we're 55 minutes and 42 seconds into a live stream right now. This way different than like a much shorter video. Some people are mad. You can actually look in the back, or they just don't even see it, or they unsubscribe or whatever. It is what it is. There's that new tactic. Let's dive into this before we get to our next guest, and then we're gonna hit these super chats as well. I see y'all. I'm fired up to this is important though. And I want to say, we talked about this last time, but it's important enough. I'll just give you the one analytic. This will rock your world. Get ready to rewind the video and see the viewer retention spike at this moment in the video, because this is a pretty big deal. So this is kind of fascinating. And if you go to your analytics, we'll be there together soon enough, I hope. I don't know how to get there anymore. Choose to watch your video. Wow. Stress levels rise when you're just out there. And did they literally delete this analytic from my back end? I swear this is deleted. I promise you it is. Yeah, it is. There's a new one that talks about like how many people watch shorts, how many people watch your videos, how many people. I know what it is. Okay, it is. Okay. Sorry. Forgive me. All right. Viewers across formats. So if you go to analytics, up at the top, you go to overview content, analytics, overview content, you go to viewers across formats. Like, for example, videos and lives, only 2% of this channel watches live streams. Only 2% watches both, and 96% comparing those two metrics watch videos, but they won't watch a live stream. So I have to extend to you an incredible amount of gratitude for being here. You're part of the 2%. Can we put it up? PewDiePie bro fist. Like, let's just rock. Like, thank you. And so anyways, if you look at like shorts right now, it's like over 50% just watch shorts and they don't watch other stuff. And that little mall rat only eats the samples and he never buys the Cinnabon. That's probably how you feel. Like, they only watch the shorts and they don't watch my long form videos. Relax. You just want people experiencing the Cinnabon strategy. So make search based, make long form, go viral, really edit your video, go live. Of course, dial into what works, but I think it's a matter of that the constant theme of all of the above is delivering the same value in different sizes and in different packages. All right, we're going to bring on, let me hit these super chats really quick. We have Sadiq. Hey, Sean, live stream have any benefits in terms of getting discovered for new YouTuber with less than 50 subscribers? I would say no. I don't think live streams have very many benefits for getting discovered. The exception to that would be if you are a news channel and you could break news, that could help you. If you were going live, covering an event, why it's happening, you just are live streaming, people can jump on, and people have blown up live streams. If there's something relevant based on the niche of your channel, you're live reacting to a news ticker, you're bringing in photos and videos. That could be one way to do it. The other way to do it is really what we would call a real-time video. A lot of times you'll see me doing that. The first 15 minutes of Coffee with Cannell today was in a way a real-time video. I took some time to prepare my notes, prepare slides. And not only could that be cut out, but it makes the replay value of this very live stream 100x higher than just a normal live stream. There's an actual promise. There's actual content delivered. There's a good title. There's a good thumbnail. So there's some replay value there, meaning you only have 50 subscribers. So maybe no one watches live, but you go live, you're brief, you're bright, you're fun, and then you're done. And then ultimately people can watch it for weeks, months, and years to come. A live stream could be an evergreen video, but then it begs the question of why make a live stream? Why not even just extemporaneously record for 30 minutes? It'll be better edited. I've worked on my communication skills, but I'm still 100 times better edited. In fact, y'all probably know I'm a little bit long-winded. I did this one training. It was 33 minutes long. Nathan on the Think Media team, he made it 7.5 minutes. That just goes to show that I probably 3x how long things to be. Maybe it's more like 4x. Relax, Kyle. Like Victoria is judging me. That's the Think Media team. But so why go live when you could just edit the video? So I don't think leaning into too much live streaming at 50 subscribers has much value. Try to make your best videos shorts, regular videos. Okay, Andy, I'm going to hit your super chat in a bit. I have it saved, but I am going to bring on, I believe, Shiu. Is that how I say your name?
You can just call me Shiu. Yeah.
Shiu, thanks for coming on, man. Let me also try to get links to channels in my studio chat, and I think I have it. I do. So, what's your question?
So, for my videos, I cover a game that basically has updates and changes basically every 2 months. So I'm thinking whether search-based content is worth it, because what I cover could be irrelevant in like a few months' time when the next update comes. So I just want to ask what your thoughts are on that.
Well, first of all, a couple things. One, I love your design, your eye for design already. The minimalism on the thumbnails, like just 3 things, is great. The cover image, the clarity is all great. I do want to, future cast a little bit and say that being fully built on one game has some vulnerabilities to it. It also is, I guess, a superpower in a sense, because it's such a specific value proposition. But just something to think about, like, where's this game in 10 years? But you can always pivot to something that the audience would also love as well. I think that search-based could still be relevant. So let's dive into some things. It's Clash of Clans.
This is actually very interesting. This is actually Clash Mini, which is a beta game, so it's actually not globally released yet.
Okay.
So it has a very small audience right now because it's not published to the whole world yet. So even you can't play it because you're in the US. So
okay.
That's very special.
Let's just answer. I can go a little bit deeper, but let's answer your question at least first. You've already answered it. You're saying, how could I do search-based content? Well, your top viewed video is a search-based video. How to download Clash Mini. And it has over 148,000 views. I know it took a year to get there, but like, it sort of proves my point. What do you think? I mean, like, that's like literally your best video is, in terms of views, is a search-based video.
Honestly, I don't think much about that, but yeah, I think there is a way. That's kind of like a few examples that really work with search-based, with at least this beta game, since not everyone can download it. But in terms of in the future, I think this could struggle a little bit. But I'm just hoping to see what you think about this.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Now we're going to talk. One of the best ways to come up with search-based video ideas is the YouTube search bar and with autocomplete that happens from Google and YouTube. So if we go to search and we type in Clash Mini, by the way, this is also proof that people are looking for Clash Mini search terms. So the most popular is they're looking for the best deck. Now, fair enough. This is 2 weeks ago. These are not like super old videos. Maybe the deck's always changing. But one of the ones that stood out to me here, Clash Mini, like iOS download 2023. Did you make your download video last year?
Oh, it was like 2021.
Yeah. So I think that when we also talk about something being search-based, it doesn't mean it has to be search-based for like 10 years, but it could be relevant for an entire year. So what are some of the things that are going to be repetitively searched, not just on YouTube, but on Google for 6 months, you know, and that's at least more lifespan than perhaps a video that tanks and, you know, not tanks, but like does like, you know, 1,800 views. Maybe it only gets 1,800 views, but it's still relevant next month and the month after and the month after, because it's like maybe a download 2023, which reinforces, you know, that top video that you had forgotten about having the most views. I think that you're definitely onto something, though. It would seem that most of the action happening here is related to, it's all like constant. It's very much kind of chasing things that are most recent. But let's go a little bit deeper. So anybody following along can do this with their own niche or their own topics. So you go Clash Mini. You can go _ before space, and it'll say how to get Clash Mini, which does your video show up for that? You could still try to rank for that. Maybe. Is this you?
Yep.
Yeah. So you already do. So that's a great example. So how to get Clash Mini, and this is put a little _. And then maybe would a monk deck exist for a whole year, or is it always changing?
I mean, again, I think it really depends on like what the game is, because obviously like some characters will change and how they work is going to change. So that means the videos aren't going to be too relevant. So I think that is just my biggest concern.
Yeah. Well, and a good point of this conversation is the bigger YouTube conversation in general. What is the longevity of my niche? Like how concrete, what is the lifespan of this? What is the shelf life, not of just this video, but what is the shelf life of this whole topic, of this whole game? You also are in a way making a bet, and it could be a very smart bet, because it sounds like if this game goes global, you've got a head start. You've got, you know, some things that are happening. I do think it would be nice to rank for Clash Mini gameplay. And I do wonder if, again, there's maybe certain people, these people have huge millions of subscribers. I think that highlights, these are just different things I've learned. High level gameplay, huh? And that might not be a desire of people. And that's just what we're after. Like sometimes maybe people want to see a highlight. I liked your topic that you did on like 16 secrets or something. How long will that last?
That is really a news video, because that video is 16 secrets on the update that you don't know.
Okay.
I have done other stuff like that would be a bit have a bit more evergreen sort of value, and they have been living on the search shelf for a bit longer. So I'm trying to experiment on that. So
I think this is a really cool conversation, because it speaks to the nuances of also, is there even really super search, but if something's even brand new, like how searched is it? And this goes back to the idea that like, it's also not the only strategy. I think there's something to the success leaves clues in your own video library. And we say success leaves clues, make part 2s and an update about downloads. But if your positioning of your channel is more news-based or current-based, and this is a developing situation, right? It's a developing game. It's a developing. So if the game matures, breaks through, goes global, then it also would, you know, let me just think about something like, so you have Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is now a couple years old. And then it's also a new games coming out. So it'll go through peaks and valleys. So the Sephiroth, let's go like Sephiroth hard mode. So people will be constantly probably finding this and needing to find an easy way to defeat Sephiroth in hard mode, how to beat Sephiroth in hard mode. It's 3 years old. It's got 30,000 views. That's not even that impressive. However, these types of videos will probably keep pulling, as you could imagine, right? Because like people are going to keep playing that boss. So all that to say is I would think, you know, once the game breaks through, if it does, that maybe there's like listicles for like 10 things you need to know when getting started, or how to like jump quick start guide or something like that, that someone could watch all year long with just the basics, like beginner tips. That'd be like would be an interesting, and sometimes getting into the mindset of it might be obvious to you as like a smart gamer, but as like a boomer gamer, I'm actually a millennial, but listen, like as I came into this game, I think I went beginner's guide or beginner's tips, and I watched these very videos. So like that's thinking about search-based and evergreen of just how do you get started? And I think that, again, it goes back to maybe the people that are used to watching your news, they don't click on that. They go, but it's still on brand because they're like, I'm not a beginner. But then that video sits there and it gets viewed for a couple more years if they're kind of generic, not that they're bad, but if they're just kind of like, what are the first 10 steps for getting up to fast, user interface, how it works, how to level up, all that kind of stuff. Has this been helpful at all?
Yeah, definitely. I think especially what you said just then about approaching it from a beginner's perspective after the game launches globally, because obviously there's going to be a big wave of new players in there. So I'm definitely going to keep that in mind and trying to develop some video ideas for beginners starting really right now, because that will be very powerful to grow when the game goes global.
That's a great point. And if it hits, then all of a sudden, boom. And that's the kind of thing that, like, there was that Netflix show called like The Queen's Gambit or whatever. And then all of a sudden, every chess channel, like they were just doing the thing, but it brought a whole new level of awareness and it like shot it up. Of course, Lord of the Rings was just doing its thing and it had its fans, but then Prime releases a show. So as soon as things hit different waves of trending, you can't always predict them, but that's part of the fun of maybe, you know, creating different content or different channels is you can ride a wave. And so, yeah, that could lead to some incredible breakout stuff. And hopefully the game gets released globally.
Yeah, that's the hope. That's really why I'm doing this, because now there is low competition, low demand, low supply, right? But right after global, the demand is going to be way higher and the supply is still going to be very low. So this is really the perfect opportunity for me to kind of like grow and make this a full-time career. Yeah.
I love it. Shiyu, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this live stream. It has been very helpful. Thank you.
Smash like if you're getting value. Shiyu's super smart. You hear what he said? Supply and demand. The, you know, age-old business principle, supply and demand. And thinking about where is the demand, what are people asking? Search-based content even would be like, what are people asking for? Where is the demand? And then filling that with supply. And the myth you might think is oh, well, it's already saturated. Oh, well, it's already too crowded. Oh, there's already too many videos about that. Maybe, but there's also a lot of unscratched itches. I have one on my back shoulder right now, and I wish I had a back scratcher. You got to find those demand of the things that are unscratched, and you'd be shocked. We discover it almost daily, for sure, weekly at Think Media. We are blown away by like unanswered questions about cameras, unanswered questions about how to live stream with a particular thing, unanswered. They are everywhere. You talk about a particular game, particular pain points people have. I get it. But instead of identifying how hard it is and always finding a problem with every solution, start to see the possibilities. It is a new day full of new opportunities and new possibilities. It's time to crush. And Shiyu was right. Supply and demand. Okay, we have Joe coming on and Alex in just a second. Let me shout out Andy's super chat here. I started watching Think Media 2.5 years ago. First of all, thank you. I appreciate you, Andy. And I had no idea how to work cameras. I watched your content day and night for hours. Side note. Sometimes I'll meet people at like our event, Grow with Video Live, growwithvideolive.com. It's coming back 2024, Las Vegas. Somebody will come up to me, it's super awkward. They'll be like with their wife and they'll be like, hey, like, nice to meet you in person. They'll be like, we kind of have like an uncomfortable relationship because I think I listen to you more than my wife. And my wife always hears me like hearing your voice in bed. So if you want to hear my voice in bed, subscribe to Think Media. And so I get it. If you're watching night and day, and these days it's probably Omar and Nolan because they're your guy. Like they are your guys for working cameras. But anyways, I now work full-time creating video content and I have multiple incomes. My man, not even a question. But Andy, sending you massive love, massive gratitude. You know, we're on a mission to help 1 million purpose-driven people create a full-time living doing what they love while making a difference in the world with YouTube and online video. And you're one of those, man. I really appreciate that. Congrats on going full-time. Congrats on multiple income streams. Congrats on day and night watching our videos. No congratulations needed there, but I really appreciate you, and I appreciate the super chat, and thank you so much for the love. Smash like if you're getting value. We've got 2 more guests. Those are going to be our final guests today, and then we'll be able to take a few more questions if you throw questions before and after the question. But we got Joe on the show. Joe, what is your question? And tell us a little bit about you.
Right. So can you hear me all right?
I can.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean. So my main question well, first, I've been doing a podcast for about 4 years. It's a video podcast. We got it on, one specific channel. It's called Wiseworks Podcast, but that's not the channel I'd like you to look at. The channel I'd like you to look at is kind of where I land the clips. That we've been doing that one, me, my brother, and my friend, for about 2 years. And it's called Wiseworks Studio. And it was originally Wiseworks Podcast Clips, and we changed it because we wanted to do more than just podcast clips. So that's the full podcast channel. We have not seen as much growth on full episodes, but we decided to put clips and other shorter form videos on the other channel. And that's the one that's kind of grown us a lot more. So the main question I have is, like, does this channel have too much variety? So if you can't already tell, we're in like the movie commentary business. And so, or the niche, I guess. And so we do reactions, we do breakdowns, we do podcast clips, like podcast styles, where we are talking about movies or talking about movie news. And so the first question, the main question I basically have is, when you look at the channel, does it feel like there's too much variety inside of this niche? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. No, I don't think it actually, it feels great to me. I feel like looking at it, and this, for people who subscribe to Think Media, it clearly is variety, but it's not variety in the sense of like a Minecraft playthrough and then a gardening video and then how do you cook green beans and then your Dune trailer reaction. So it's clear to me that it's entertainment. It's got that reaction kind of thing going. What I'm going to say, though, is you have just brought up the most age-old debate. Scholars and prophets have been debating this for centuries, and that has been this: 1 channel or 2 channels. I think there might have been like an old scroll found of Socrates being like, one problem I have not been able to solve is, should I put my clips on a separate channel or on my main channel? People doubt that. They doubt the historical accuracy of that finding, but they just dug it up. It is, should I put my short form videos on a separate channel? 3 people are like, is he joking? Yeah. Okay. So there's a joke. It's a joke. Listen, I personally think that I would keep it all on the same channel. And it's a debate because who's right and who's wrong, I don't know. I mean, JRE Clips versus Joe Rogan, well, doesn't matter because Joe's on Spotify, but he's allowed to have the Clips channel. Valuetainment, Patrick Bet David, I mean, he does separate out the PBD podcast on a long channel, but then Valuetainment, he also has Valuetainment Clips, but they're at scale doing it. Hey, I'm as uncomfortable as you are. I mean, everybody here, and I would love, like, could we do a poll? Serious question. Is Kyle still here? He's gone. I think he's getting his haircut, as he would, just middle of the day. We get it. And so, like, I don't know. Let's know in the chat, though. Do you think your clip should be on the main channel or the second channel? I can tell you what we're doing. What we're doing at Think Media Podcast is we're keeping it all on the same channel for the exact reason you're kind of describing. It's a discoverability opportunity. Someone finds that you guys are funny. They find your reaction to a moment, and then they subscribe, and then you see how well that translates to long form content.
Right.
So personal, I mean, people are saying main, and main. Keep it in the funnel. Yeah, John. Well, so I mean, and that actually, if you said, Sean, what would you do? I would keep it on the main channel.
Right.
So with that, and someone even said because of the new changes. So that's interesting as well. I guess maybe because you can call it a podcast. So that's organized over here, although now we're on the studio. You can call it a podcast. You can have videos, you can have shorts, you can have lives. So I think you can break it up. Now, my next point, first of all, thoughts. Is it painful? Would you move the stuff back?
You know, I've been thinking about it for a while. Really, I think since I saw initially you talking about this in a video, and I haven't pulled the trigger on it, mostly because we've got like almost 350 episodes on the other channel. And so do you think it would be beneficial to just start 351 on this channel and just let the other one live where it's at?
I thought, or go the other direction. Start putting clips on the other one that's smaller.
And then don't do clips on this channel and just do other videos like reactions and such?
I'm just as uncomfortable as you are. I mean, this is one of those where like, okay, thing one. I think thing one would be keep it all on one channel.
Right.
Thing two. Okay, which channel? Good. I mean, perhaps, perhaps the new one. You start the podcast on the new one. You know, in the time we have here, we could debate this, and all of these thoughts are good thoughts. And I know that I think this conversation adds value to listeners because they debate the same thing. What's my brand? Where is it? What's my promise? Where does everything go? I definitely think that thing one is get it all on one channel. And then I have some final thoughts here as well.
Go for it.
Thing two that I would love to see is one, I think thumbnails are a little too busy.
Right.
Generally, I also think, okay, I mean, it's like, so you guys are both in it. I do like it when maybe one of you is in it. I also think would be interesting is, I know it's a reaction. So the idea that you're teeing that up, I think that you could play around though, by just eliminating things out of the thumbnail.
Right.
Like even just new trailer breakdown on this without, is that you?
That's actually my friend. That's a clip from the podcast.
Yeah.
So that's not an actual reaction.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, if it is a new trailer breakdown or whatever it is, like, let me put it this way. I would love this thumbnail if all it said was new trailer breakdown and it just had the homie from Dune.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just a lot less happening. Like it's less like, okay. And so I think there's some opportunity there. And then I think the next opportunity is maybe summarizing the whole thing is just the polishing and leveling up of your whole workflow. And here's what I mean.
Okay.
It's like, is your podcast, if it's not really crushing at 1 hour and 26 minutes, what does it look like to do the 25-minute version? Is if you started doing parts, if you switched up your show format, like you've been doing 350 episodes. And I think there's something about, you know, if you will, pivoting.
Right.
And I think that we have this, maybe have you listened to our Think Media podcast about like when to quit, when to stick.
Right.
And seeing that you're this far in with a lot of good things, you've got a whole workflow down, you've got the microphones, you've got the editing, but I think it's about improving that entire process and then reworking it. So you're committed to the vision. And to me, the vision seems strong. You've got the passion. Y'all love the entertainment. You love these, you know, media, all this kind of stuff. You have so much opportunity to tap into trending culture. But if you're dropping, 53 views or 43 views on an hour 34, what happens if you divert your energy to, if you will, create a new show, a different show, same premise, but like different length, different value proposition, different way you do it, a different approach, challenge to it, like amount of Easter eggs in it or whatever. I think that could help things take off. And so consolidate on one channel, kind of take a step back and think about, okay, with our value proposition, what is it we're trying to accomplish here? What can we learn from some of our best performing stuff? And then just the small tweaks of like improving, you know, like little pieces at a time. Maybe refining the brand a little bit. Like I think like why is The Chosen selling rights? I think that there's that's a great question. I also wonder, you know, that sounds like a clip more to me than an hour and 90. I'm sure that there's 90 minutes to talk about that. But like what has resonated most? You definitely have kind of probably a diehard audience. Like you got a core group that's really into what you're doing. I think I would also maybe survey them a little bit. And by survey them, I mean like community tab, but I mean like on both channels. You've never posted on a community tab on this channel. Ask a question, ask a poll, and see what people are looking for. But even like get a focus group going, hit up your audience and see if they could all jump on Zoom with you.
Okay.
And talk about, pull out a notebook. This is very hard, but to ask people for like just unbiased feedback, and say, I want you to just rip us to shreds. Like, what do you think would make our show stronger? Please don't hold back. You want people that'll just, you know, like they'll just tell you the truth. And they're also like, you're like, I'm not here for the encouragement. I'm here for just like your feedback. Like, what do you think about the hooks? What do you think about the opening? What do you think about the content? You start doing different like surveys, perhaps, where you could go to the community tab and say, do you want the videos to be like a poll? Do you think our podcast, which they're not even there, but you get, you know, would you prefer the show be 90 minutes, 60 minutes, or less than 30? And you just see the votes. And maybe within those subscribers, because polls do so well, you get 333 votes. And that, I think, the tweaking, because in summary, I really think you're onto something, but I feel like it's still, it needs some massaging and to come out with the 2.0 version and the 3.0 version of what it is you're doing. Because I think great things are ahead as you dial in these details.
Awesome. That's very helpful. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, Joe. Thank you so much for jumping on.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time. And I'll be praying for you and your family.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
All right. Coffee with Cannell. We got Alex here in just a second. But let me know one of your aha moments. You know, we talked about search-based content. We've been answering some questions. We've been drinking coffee and some BCAs. Let me know what you're drinking. But I'm curious because we're hashtag action takers at Think Media, meaning we don't just get information, but we are all about implementation, about applying what we're learning. So what idea do you have for your channel? What do you need to improve next? Are you working on your thumbnails? Are you working on your content strategy? What do you need to do next? Subscribe to Think Media Podcast. Did you even know we have a podcast? It's been 3 years and you're here and you didn't know we had a podcast? Besides being personally offended at you and hurt, I understand. And there's a way you could totally redeem yourself. And I'm not just asking you to subscribe for me. Legitimately, I think you will find it super valuable. Like, for example, we uploaded our ultimate 12-step video checklist today. I want to say, and this is like, it took me a long time to learn this, like years of just making it more efficient, going through our ultimate checklist and many other things on the Think Media Podcast channel. It's not this channel. It's our whole other channel with some banger content that will help you reach your YouTube goals. That could be an action item, but I don't know what it is that you're up to or what you're working on or what you're doing. I listen to every new upload. Andy, my man. Brofist. Just like that guy inside PewDiePie jokes or whatever. Okay, let's see. My thumbnails. People are taking action. People are posting in the comments of the live chat. If you're on the replay, hit me, hashtag replay fam. I need to actually post John being real. That's great. We talk about it all the time. John, thanks so much for sharing it. One of the secrets to success on YouTube is uploading videos on YouTube. John nailed it. And that is a huge key. Views, going to be working on getting those views. And I love that. And I love that you're saying, I've already subscribed. South Florida Sunshine, sending you love. I really appreciate it. Okay, we have Alex in just a second here, but I do need to hit Flight 4 Reality with the super chat. Thank you. About niches. Is it niches or niches? Are the riches in the niches or the niches in the riches? Let me know in the comments. My videos are about culture, politics, and news history. Example channel, Big Think. Topics vary, but appeal to the same type of person who cares about academic topics. Is this a viable niche? Thing one that you did really good is find a channel that you can model after. So he said, example, Big Think. If somebody has proved that their channel works, that is good to know. I think then thinking about, okay, what is it about their channel? They're pulling, so they got 5 million views. This is the Big Think channel. Cool name too, huh? Pfft, what are they trying to do? Big Think Media? What do you want to fight? They have more subscribers, I guess they win. So they also have almost 9,000 uploads. This must be like a major team. So I think that's something to, of course, reverse engineer. It seems kind of faceless, or like they have just different guests, kind of journalism. This is very fascinating. Great thumbnails. So let's also see how they self-describe. It's the leading source of expert-driven, actionable, educational content with thousands of videos featuring experts ranging from Bill Clinton to Bill Nye. Well, they have a few things going for them. The first thing they have going for them is Bill Clinton. The second thing they have going for them is Bill Nye, the science guy. So they're going to help you get smarter and faster. Who are you connected to? You get the world's greatest thinkers, actionable lessons. Now, as you probably know, because of OPC, other people's content, fair use, and the cool world that we're living in on YouTube, if you learn that skill set, you can get Bill Clinton under fair use. You know, the best tips of Bill Clinton. That'd be interesting. And Big Think for multitude of articles. So do I think it's viable? Well, it is viable. I mean, this is working. So you go, okay. I think that my biggest question would be, though, kind of like reverse engineering the entire business model. Like reverse engineering, how hard is this going to be? And there's the one tip, and then we'll get to Alex. That comes to mind that is very important from an entrepreneurship startup perspective. And it would be this: the MVP, not the most valuable player, but the MVP, I think, is something very important for all of the dreamers that are watching this right now. All of the people who have big aspirations, you're watching this right now. And Flight from Reality, I think MVP, what's it stand for? It stands for minimum viable product. I think that when, wanting to get something off the ground, this is like, I would love, can you look it up? Can somebody let me know? How big is this team? Can you look them up on LinkedIn? Like, is Big Think a company? I wouldn't be surprised if 100 people work there. And I think, like, how did it start? And I think that as you approach, because your videos are about culture, politics, I love all that, it's all cool. But reverse engineering back, and sometimes, like, I like that you're saying niche. I think if you're trying to go culture, politics, news history, but you can't be an at-scale publishing company yet, because I'm guessing you don't have 100 people and $2 million in the bank. Then I think it might be just something about finding the niche within the niche, finding the niche within the niche, and figuring out how you're going to cut through. The point of the minimum viable product conversation is like, what you're asking is, how do I go from 0 to 1? That's a good book. How do I like get this thing off the ground? How do I create a video format that's impactful, but that's simple enough? And what is my shortest path to revenue? And then once I get there, what could I do from there? Even what we're able to accomplish at Think Media, there's like stages to it. As soon as I was reviewing tech videos, ranking them in search, connected to reviewing tech and camera tutorials and lenses and all of that stuff, affiliate marketing, ranked in search, 6-figure income. Did not take the money and go buy a new car. I took the money and started to hire people and reinvest in the business, and continue to do that, and continue to compound, and continue to think about, okay, how can we invest into the next level or whatever, the future? And so thinking through the stages of it, minimum viable product is how do you get to that first level? Then I took what I knew and packaged in an online course, by the way, which is then the next step was like, I had proof of concept. I had ranked videos, mastered search-based content, done it for years, reached 6 figures of income without selling a course, like all this stuff. And then I was like, okay, let me package what I know into what's called Video Ranking Academy. Cool. And then that was also a jump up in revenue, which was a jump up of reinvesting. I know it's not exactly what your question is, but that's the advice I'd want to give you is try to niche down and find a way to have a minimum viable product of a particular type of videos that works. I'm a little nervous by how broad it is because Big Think has a big team. I don't know that for sure, but I'm guessing. And you don't want to compare your beginning to somebody else's middle. You don't want to compare and imitate. This is why people, it's obvious, but you shouldn't imitate Mr. Beast. You can't, because he's got hundreds of people working for him, just hundreds of acres and warehouses and studio sets. And he's spending 1, 2, 3, 4. He's losing money on videos by how much it costs him to make, but that he can make up the money with Feastables and Mr. Beast Burger. So again, if someone's like, well, I'm just going to copy him, like, what are you even talking about? Like, so you come back to the minimum viable product. That would be what I think about the most. What's the shortest path to revenue? How do I bring something unique to YouTube that I can do well? As my friend Roberto Blake says, that's also at it's at a level of quality that is expected for the niche. So I hope that helps. I appreciate your super chat too. Thank you so much. We have 2 more super chats and Alex. We're going to go to Alex right after this quick break. Listen, if you have not registered for the Tube 1K challenge, it starts on Monday. Here's some details.
I want to invite you guys to our YouTube 1K challenge. You can join this challenge for free as we show you how to grow your first 1,000 subscribers and make your first $1,000 on YouTube. We've had countless people join us during this 1K challenge who are now at 1,000 subscribers and past 1,000 subscribers making money on YouTube. And you could be the next person. If you just go to tube1kchallenge.com, you can sign up for the very next challenge, and we can't wait to see you guys there.
That is at tube1kchallenge.com. Link in the description down below. We are starting soon. I'm pulling up Alex's channel. He's waited patiently, and we are ready. Alex, welcome to Coffee with Cannell. Tell us a little bit about you and what's your question today.
All right. Okay, so we have hey, Sean, how are you today? Hope everything's going well. Yeah, the channel itself is about how-tos and tips and tools for exterior grade sheet metal installations, like metal roofing and siding kind of thing. And my question today, and also on point with the dad jokes today, I'm loving it. I'm dying over here. It's hilarious. You're very much an approved dad.
Thank you. That's my goal in life.
yeah, I'm dying over here. Everyone else is super awkward. I'm like killing myself laughing. Okay, so my question that I wrote in when during the intake here was, what's a good monetization strategy for a skilled trade channel? Much like Roger Wakefield, I think you've worked with him in the past. He's the expert plumber, and he's just going nuts, bonkers with whatever he's doing. Not just his channel, but he's doing all kinds of stuff. So like, I want to mimic that kind of model, but I just find myself, my wheels are spinning. My focus is absolutely just off the rails because I see so much opportunity. But I got it, like you just said, with what Roberto Blake says, production value that fits the niche. Like, I need direction on what, where I'm at in my journey on YouTube and in my online business. What fits that part of my journey in terms of like content strategy? I resist posting really awesome videos that I know would do well on YouTube because I'm so worried about throwing the baby out with the bathwater, as you like to say, right? So,
but why though? If you know these videos are going to be awesome, why are you hesitating?
Because I'm just worried that I'm limiting my online course content that I could put behind a paywall.
Okay.
So I was on one of the VRA I guess it was a Q&A session. It was with the, forgive me, I forgot her name, but yeah, she plays the guitar.
Yep. Lauren.
And Lauren. Okay. So that session just blew my mind, because she was like, dropping some major knowledge bombs in terms of like what she posted her videos as her paid courses. And I was just like, how's that even possible? So anyways, I'll let you talk now, because I know maybe you have, hopefully have some wise wisdom to pass my way.
Yeah. So a couple things. So one, let's talk about these things in isolation. First thing, this fear of giving away information. It's kind of a myth. I think that you should put out your best information, and I think you should give away content that you would normally put behind a paywall, because what is provably true now over like decades of online and YouTube and everything else across multiple different niches is a lot of times the information can be very similar, but the format is different, and people will pay for the format. Like, for example, if someone's going to come to like a live event, what you teach on stage, is it a lot different than maybe what people could get on YouTube? Well, chances are no, but what are they also paying for? They're paying for the focus, the experience, the trip, being there. When you watch on YouTube, you're multitasking and distracted. And so can someone get that same factual information watching someone's keynote that's uploaded to YouTube? Yeah, potentially. And if they're really disciplined, they could apply it. But also there's something that magic that happens when you're actually in the room. You're in a different emotional state. You're in a different place. So yeah, people will pay $1,000 ticket to be in a room for probably information they could get free online. Well, someone, is there particular information in a book? Like, you could charge more for a online course than you can for a book, and people pay it. They'll pay $20 for a book on Amazon, but what's in the course? Is it the same thing that's in the book? Yeah, probably, but the book isn't videos with a voiceover explaining step by step. So the book's $20 and the course is $300 or $1,000. And what happens though is one person watching that is like, right now is like, aha, that's why I only watch your free videos. Yeah, cool. I mean, for sure. Like, a lot of times, people will get some great results doing that. But a lot of people also realize randomly trying to track down all the free information compared to the organization of it being inside of a course. And you don't get the community. You don't get the VRA community as well. So also the format of even our online course is not just the online course. It's also the workbook, so it's like these. So the information, where there is, without a doubt, in the 55 hours of Video Raking Academy, there is, 50% of stuff that is not anywhere else free. But there's a lot of the big idea. It's out there, and people who invest in that program understand the value that when you pay attention. It's kind of like when I pay a personal trainer, a physical therapist right now rehabbing me. Mostly what he's doing is just making me commit to what I already know how to do. Like, I'll just go work, I'll do the exercises that I could have just read in a book, that I literally have books on my shoulder injury, and I just don't read the book. So I pay a person. So it's just these different levels. That's the biggest myth as it comes to like putting stuff behind a paywall. Some people will never go behind a paywall. Many people that are smart understand the power of going behind a paywall, because it helps them go faster, or you get access to a community, or you get closer, or they just know if you pay attention. That when I download free information, or I sign up for sometimes a free class, it doesn't change me in this some way. I'm actually paying a ridiculous amount to a business coach right now, who basically, he's doing a lot, but like, it's so funny, because one of the things we do is we read a book.
He's not a business coach. He's not a business coach from Fiverr, is he?
No, no, it's more like that times 1,000 a month. Yeah. So, and basically what we do though, is one of the things we do is we have to read a book every month. And what's so funny is I'm like, this is the most expensive book club I've ever been a part of. I could just buy the book and read it. Why am I? But what I'm finding is the accountability, the feedback, and there's a lot of other aspects to it, but it's just like this internal humorous thing for me that I'm like, I heard him recommend the book on his social media. Why the heck am I on the intern? Because there's just different levels. Punchline. It's all of the above. the punchline is make the best course you possibly can, make the best YouTube videos you possibly can, give away great information in the moment as possible. Like people wonder, am I holding back on Coffee with Cannell? No, I'm going to give you the best information I can right now. One of the challenges about this moment is also we're going to talk for another 5 minutes and we can't cover as much as we cover even next week in our challenge that's also free. That's 5 days. When you're trying to develop mastery in sheet metal, when you're trying to develop mastery in building a career or a sheet metal business or metal roofing, you don't get that in one YouTube video or even one course or even. So I think it's expanding our mindset that there'll be people who watch your free videos, eventually the course you build, eventually maybe you do like a business mastermind for business owners that want to, you know what I mean? Like, and some people can't afford that or will never do that, but there's 5 or 10 or 20 people who will. And the way you win is by just putting out incredible content that serves people at all of the different levels. So that's thing one. Don't be afraid of putting out your best content and putting out your best videos. What's your thoughts on that, Alex?
Well, yeah, you kind of just reminded me because basically people who pay attention, and that's just been more and more prevalent. Like as I'm kind of researching this topic and trying to find my answer to this question is, you know, people like pay for the curation, they pay for the booklet, they pay for the, you know, the community that's attached directly to me and all that stuff. So, yeah, you kind of reminded me about that. Cause I remember maybe it was you I heard it from too. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's land the plane on the Roger Wakefield strategy. I think the cool thing we can see with Roger is, you know, this is how we can study a channel and get insights. Yeah. I mean, he's doing some incredibly smart stuff. And what I love about his channel is let's study his top videos of all time.
Yeah.
Number 1, let's make a note here. Roger Wakefield video. If y'all haven't, exactly. If y'all haven't heard about him, the expert plumber, his most viewed video of all time is 4 years old and it has 4.3 million views. And it is a search-based video. I'm not trying to continue to repeat on the same thing, but if you're just watching now live, make sure to watch the replay of this and save this video, because during the first 20 minutes, we talked about the power of search-based content and 7 things you need to know. But again, people are forgetting about search-based content when it is incredibly powerful, but he more consistently gets multi-millions of views by making entertainment-based videos. Now, an advantage that he has is that that plumbing is so common, it's big enough, and there's crazy stuff that happens. Toilets explode, people have weird DIY hacks. So in sheet metal, it's not as broad as this, and there probably wouldn't be as many fails and stuff online. But if we want to reverse engineer the model, what essentially he is tapping into, though, is reaction, OPC, other people's content, fair use. And then he's tapping into, I mean, here's a commercial, and he is combining that kind of stuff. He also is he's tapping into challenges, meaning what is a challenge? It's kind of a funny thing. Is it the planking challenge? Is it the ice bucket challenge? No, like Mr. Beast has kind of mastered challenges by setting up stakes or parameters or a game or whatever. And he's doing it, though. You can do challenges in your niche. Like, I am going to try to do something limited. I don't know if this would make sense, but like, I'm going to try to put a whole sheet metal roof up with handcuffs, you know, my hands handcuffed. I don't know if that'd be a good video, but that's what kind of the challenge is. So he challenges himself to, so he reacts to scammers trying awful plumbing hacks. So he finds other people's content or viral TikToks and then redoes those things. Then you go, well, is he just doing random entertainment content? No, he's doing specifically plumbing hacks. So you could do like and he debunks them, and I think he's adding value though too, right? It's not just it totally,
you know what I mean?
So you might go, I don't know if it'd be relevant to go to roofing. You could react to like roofing, like in general, like roofs fall or structures fall, or it makes you think, not that I suggest this, but this is a strategy conversation then. Do I broaden out my channel to be more construction based or something? And what is it that I want to happen? Because if it is a little bit more broad, like one of the most valuable things any YouTube creator will ever figure out is they'll figure out a content format, and they'll dial in a format. They'll build around by the way, the React channels themselves are legendary, and they have built out a format. So there's 20 million subscribers. Again, what's wild about it is that it is it's a consistent format where they can intersperse guests. Production has gone to a whole nother level.
It's like a show. Yeah.
But they can intersperse guests. They've got a little list here going, react into whatever. The punchline is it's a repeatable format, and you're really onto something if you're not constantly trying to come up with some fresh YouTube idea and you're super stressed and wondering how long is this sustainable. React is like, what, 10 years old? Came out in 2007.
That model,
it's a model. So it's 16 years old and it's still going. They've had to innovate. They've upped their production value. They've upped the editing. They've upped the team. They've upped the whatever. That is the trajectory of a YouTube career. Find a format, reinvent yourself, improve things. Perhaps the format does end. It could expire, but this one hasn't. So Roger's kind of tapped into that. It could look like, oh man, what secret did he figure out? Well, there could be many, but I mean, a lot of it is the format, and then him finding out a lot more than, why he doesn't use shark bite fittings, which also got 900,000, but was also reacts to insane plumbing. Reacts. Notice, Real Plumber Reacts is in Success Leaves Clues. So we're seeing that on his channel. Any thoughts that come to mind as we talk about that, Alex, and land the plane?
Yeah, tons. So like, I think if you see the release date of the search based, his highest most viewed video, because I've been studying him for a bit, his highest most viewed video is search based, but it's the oldest, most popular video he has. So to me, he popped off out of search, and like, I think I'd love to see the analytics on that video, because I want to know, like, when did search end and browse take it? Like, when did the browse algorithm take it? Because I don't know if search can give you that many views without the assistance of browse. I don't know, because I just had one pop off on my channel, has 108,000 views. It was a product on Amazon that was just silly to start out with, and then all of a sudden people started going nuts. It was like a trending tool for 5 minutes, and my video was just in the right spot at the right time. So like, it was searched, and then browse took it, just skyrocketed, right? It's that one there, the I had to video. It was my least edited, like, you know what I mean? My least production value video, and sorry, I have to connect back up here. I can't hear you. But
no, I didn't say anything. That's probably why.
There we go. Okay, I'm back now. Okay, so it's just so where I'm at is, I feel like I'm at the early stages where, like, Roger was maybe early stages figuring things out. I think he was heavily search-based focus, and then he popped off, and then he starts getting into these reactionary videos that also pop off. Like, what is that a possibility?
Yeah. So I love how we're going to end here on this convo. Is on the one hand, great job. This is a really cool story. On the other hand, what I love about this question is, I think how the way your mind is working, thinking strategy, very strategically, thinking about your show formats. This is the obsession of everybody watching this right now. You're in good company. We're thinking about our next few moves. We're asking ourselves good questions. Why did this video pop off? How do I double down? How do I, redo it? And then the questions go on and on. Where does my brand go next? What video should I make next? What is Roger doing? But this is what I want to tell you, Alex. There comes a point And this is, I was just at an event called Forward Conference. I spoke out in Vegas at Resorts World. And I was like, if I showed you our Slack for Think Media, there is threads where we will debate about titles and thumbnails, and we'll go back and forth. And there could be 99 messages about it. And we'll analyze our analytics. And all of the above is good. But what's super funny is that when it's all said and done, I like to sometimes just say, who freaking cares? Let's just post some videos. So here's what I mean. You're like, this particular video broke out. Why did it break out? When did it break out? And what happened? And those are good questions, and you should analyze it. But there comes a point too where your approach should be, try a react video like Roger, see if you could do one. Keep making some search-based videos as well. Make another video about how to walk safely on a roof. Keep doing them. Like you have 5,000 subscribers. You're having incredible things happen. And if we get too obsessed where, yes, we should analyze what's happened in the past so we could repeat it. But part of it is also just kind of a volume game. It's best practices meets consistency meets analyzing, making your next best informed decision, but then doing it again. So I do sense like a tinge of overthinking still trying to creep in, when ultimately I think your opportunity is to take this conversation and be like, okay, cool. Let me get my next best idea based off the notes I'm taking and then go apply it and see what happens. And then, okay, cool. Let me see if I could double down on some tool-based videos. But what ends up happening, this happens to us too. We redo what we thought was going to work. And then we're like, why did that one video get 100,000 and the next one got 4,000? I don't know. Let's make more. And so like, not to be oversimplifying, but there is a point where you're just like, who cares? Post more videos, always strategically, always intentionally, and always being informed by your previous videos. But for everybody that, claims expertise on why this one worked or what didn't work, what I can tell you is that those who just take massive strategic action can look back and be like, a lot of those videos popped off. Brian just sent me a video of a live stream that I did as we were strategizing for some future stuff. And I had forgotten about it. And I want to say it was on our Think Media podcast channel. And so I was brainstorming for the future. And this is a good tactic for, I think, all of us. It's like, look back at your library, think about why certain things happen, why they didn't happen. And so, will I be able to find it? So full-time on YouTube, how I make $970 a day with simple YouTube videos, 110,000 views. So it's like 18,000, 4,000, 31,000, 3,000, 7,000. These are live streams. And then that one's over 100,000. And I totally forgot and I hadn't studied it. So then I went back and we did you could see these, this is a tactic, even moments of like, okay, what about this video? I'm wearing the same shirt. That's the key. I'm wearing the same denim shirt.
This video is going to pop off, man.
That's who would have thought to write it down. This denim shirt right now on eBay being bid on is the key. So like go back and by the way, so the lesson here is I'm saying that these audience retention spikes maybe tell you like, okay, is that a story I should tell again? Like, is that a tactic I should teach again? But whatever, we spun off into analyzing it. And I was like, okay, sick. Like that there was a lot of clues there. And I have some very fresh insights now that I'm basing it off of a previous successful video. Success leaves clues, make part twos or double down on what it is. But it might bomb for me, meaning I might get 10,000 views. But my hope is to like re-up another 100,000 to 250,000 viewed video, because I did extrapolate a lot of insights. Here's the point though. What have I done since then? Uploaded freaking videos. Yeah. I've gone live. I've uploaded videos. I've done my best, uploaded some shorts, uploaded some videos. So I'm kind of it's a both and thing of like strategize, analyze, but then just take massive action. And I want you and everybody listening to also hear that as well. That like, I don't know what's going to be the key. I don't know. post some videos. Like,
Post
I don't know,
videos,
post your next best video possible based on everything you know right now. How do you feel about that, Alex?
Feels great. I know you're trying to wrap things up, so I just want to say, I hope to see you in Grow with Video Live this year. I'm glad you guys are bringing it back. Is it going to be around the same time of year?
Yeah.
Is that the whole idea?
May 2024. And right now, if people want to jump on, make sure to get on, I think, the waiting list. We're going to do like a crazy, like really good day one early bird pricing. So if you want to be notified, just name an email. You can share your phone or not, just to get a text. But yeah, it's going to be spring 2024, Las Vegas. And yeah, I'm super
I didn't know there was a website already. Sweet.
Yeah, growwithvideolive.com will get you there to jump on the wait list. We're like probably in less than 30 days, we will lock a location and some of the initial speakers. It's gonna be awesome. So
awesome. Looking forward to it. I'm gonna try and make it down.
Appreciate you, Alex. Thank you so much for jumping on.
Thanks for your time, Sean. Have a good one.
You as well.
Peace out.
Yes. Okay. We have a couple more super chats. If we haven't smashed the like button, smash the like button. I told Kyle and Victoria that I like to end the stream in under an hour for the replay value. But if I go over, then I'm like, okay, the next time is 90 minutes. Cause then I think about like, does somebody want to click on the replay of a 1 hour and 15-minute video? And then I was like, other than that, let me get it under 2 hours. But now we're at 2 hours and 44 seconds. And so that is what it is. But the denim shirt is here. So now we know that I got 100,000 views wearing this denim shirt on a live stream in the past. And again, ebay.com, look up my Sean Cannell account. The current bid is $964 if you are interested in this extremely average worker denim shirt. Okay, super chat. Here we go, Dave. On a personal note, is Sonia okay right now? A recent post on another platform has me worried. I hope she's okay. Dave, I appreciate you asking. It has been a crazy week. And so I was hanging out with my wife yesterday. She's been in the hospital. I'll give you all an update. And she's doing amazing last night, joyful, and actually kind of pumped to stay in the hospital one more night, because if you have kids, you know that perhaps being in the hospital alone, being fed is better than not better, but you know, moms understand that the struggle is real there. So yeah, and so she's coming home today though. Her dad is picking her up, and it's been a gnarly story. I won't tell the whole story here, but you can see the whole story on Instagram at Sean Cannell if you're interested. And yeah, it's been a gnarly week. I'm just getting back to work today and super grateful for the Think Media team. And it's been a crazy, crazy journey. We feel very loved and supported, though, by friends and family. And I really appreciate you asking, Dave. And we've just felt an onslaught of support from our community. So thank you, Think Media. If you knew about that, it's been more kind of on my Instagram. And yes, she's doing okay. And we were having dinner last night and whatnot. And then she was like, I'm going to stay here one more night. And that's what the doctor thought as well. But everything's looking good. I appreciate you asking. All right. Super chat. A King's Creation. I built an audience extremely fast on one game, but the game is old and it's slowly dying. But I want to move to another game, but I'm scared to take that leap. It's a good question. It's a hard question. But let me ask you this. If you knew for a fact that the Titanic was sinking, and you knew you had a limited time to get off on a lifeboat and live, or you could stay on the beautiful ship with beautiful artwork and furniture and just ride that thing out until you died, which path would you choose? It's a hard question. It kind of is, because you're like, the Titanic's nice though, you know, and this water is cold. If you know that the future is inevitable, this is a good leadership question. Sometimes, like, we know what the right decision is to make, but it's so painful to make it that we procrastinate it away. We don't want to face it. We just kind of like, I hope it's okay. The ship is sinking. I hope we're going to be all right though. This is super common. Like, I don't know if y'all are watching this right now, you could relate to that, but like leaders got to know. I've been in a lot of different organizations. We just kind of ignore the writing on the wall. I mean, look at Kodak, the camera company. Like, look at Blockbuster. Like, scene thing, like Blockbuster didn't buy Netflix. They could have bought Netflix for pennies on the dollar compared to the billions of dollars it's worth now. And it was like the world was changing, things were shifting, and they just thought they'd ride it out. In fact, it's a really great story. I think the CEO at the time was, I'm not suggesting you're this way, but was notably kind of arrogant, cocky, and overconfident. Kind of clear by not maybe seeing that we're going to be big forever. We're going to be good forever. You've already identified that the game is old. It's slowly dying. And then here's your options. Well, maybe it gets a second wind. Maybe, and that's also a lot of times why we procrastinate things away. Well, hopefully things change. Hope is not a strategy. Well, maybe things will turn around. Maybe they will. But what can you control right now? Maybe the Titanic hole will fix itself from the iceberg and it'll just bubble back up. And perhaps this never happened in history. It's not the way that science works. There's literally like the hole has been pierced and we're taking on too much water and we're going to sink. But maybe, maybe. So as much as this is more your decision than, of course, anybody's, you could play the odds that it'll revive, or you could start getting ahead. And the sooner you take the bitter pill, the sooner you embrace the suck and just be like, okay, this sucks. I've invested a lot in this. I've built up a lot of momentum here. This is painful. This is hard, but the writing is on the wall. The future is certain, or the highest probability is that this is going to die and the game is old and it's not going to be relevant, is pivoting to the next thing. Take your learnings, cut your losses. It's the sunk cost fallacy that also sometimes when we've invested time, money, energy, pain, our life, all this stuff, that's also how emotionally connected we get to things. So we get so into it that we're also like, I'm already 5 or 10 grand, 20 grand into it. I mean, I'm going to put more in. Maybe this will turn around. And what they would say eventually, like sunk cost, is just biting the bullet and being like, okay, this is done. You ever had a lemon vehicle? Like, I remember I had this Volkswagen Passat, 2099 or something, 1999 or something. I sold my one car. I bought this car because I thought it looked cool, from the sketchiest dealership in Seattle. Like, it was super sketchy. And the first thing, because I'm lazy, that I did was the worst thing. I drove it off the lot in Seattle and I drove it back to Marysville, Washington, and I pulled it into Safeway. And someone ran up to me and they said, did you know that like oil is hemorrhaging out of your engine right now onto the ground? Like, it's literally just gushing oil onto the ground, like at an extreme amount. So I was like, really? So I drove across the street to Jiffy Lube, luckily. And I was like, I need an oil change. More than that, I like actually need oil because that's what engines need. And there is no longer any oil. I've been leaking it up I-5 and like gallons on the top, liters, few. And so they were also like, the cap was wrong. Things were wrong. And this was fresh off the dealership of buying this used car. I think there's a law that allows you to return a car within a certain amount of time. And the best case, I should have turned around and been like, there's an issue here or whatever. But I was like, I'm sure it'll be fine. And Jiffy Lube, I had to pay them like a couple $100s to like fix whatever was happening. But that was the beginning of the car from hell. Like, the following was like electrical issues. And then it was like, fix the alternator, fix that, didn't work, fix this, didn't work. And it was hundreds and thousands of dollars sunk into this vehicle. And I kept being like, but eventually there will be a time where won't the trauma stop? Won't it stop? It never did. My friend Anthony bought the car, got in a wreck. He's okay. And the best thing that ever happened to that car was it got totaled, and like the insurance was able to like trade it for a Geo Metro, because anything would have been better so long as it actually ran and didn't whatever. Where are we? We're talking about sunk cost. So we're talking about like there is a time to like cut your losses, be like, that sucked. And so that was a little dramatic in answer to your super chat, but I would encourage you that if you know it's slowly dying, it's probably time to move on to another game. But this isn't everything that seems like a problem, an obstacle, something that's painful is also an opportunity. Like really every single, there's a cool Jocko Willink song. Look for you, they're the real ones at Think Media. Look it up later on Spotify. Look up, it's like a remix by a DJ. It's called Good. Think Media team will know this one. If you're new, like Victoria, maybe you never heard it. This is our anthem. And it's I wonder if we can link the Spotify and Apple song up in the description. And so it's the Discipline Equals Freedom Field Manual, whatever. And I don't know. Good. Is it the actual good? Oh, it's Akira the Dawn. This is it right here. Yeah. Akira the Dawn. It's called Good. And it's the idea here in this song is games growing old and it's slowly dying. Good. It's an opportunity to pivot to another game. Oh, it's like my niche is it looks like it's losing a little bit of steam. Good. Everything I've learned so far on YouTube, I can reinvent into the next thing that I do. I've built so much momentum up on this channel, and I actually may need to start a second channel because of who the subscribers are. Good. I've learned so much, and I've developed so many different insights that this next thing that I start is going to be so much more informed. This next thing is going to crush. Like there's always the perspective to look at your problems or your obstacles as opportunities. Like hidden in every obstacle is the seed of equal or greater opportunity if you'll see it, water it, and cultivate it. And so, yep, I think you get, by the way, so as we land the plane, unless you just want to bet on like the Titanic reviving itself, if that's the facts of the situation, you need to take the leap. And the sooner, the better. Like the sooner you rip the Band-Aid off, the better. And you can reinvent yourself. You can pivot to another game, rebrand the channel, align it as much as possible. It's going to suck either way. It's kind of like changing. I'm going long here. We're already 2 hours. I told you, once we go past 2 hours, I see my next limit is like 2 hours and 30 minutes. But like you can, it's kind of like changing the name of your brand. Like working at churches, I remember like if the church wanted to change their name as the communications director, I was like, I was biased. If they said, I think we should change our name, I was like, I don't, because I'm like the implications. I got to change the freaking Instagram. We have to change the yellow pages. We got to change the website. The URL is wrong. We got to change the address. You changed the name. Are you out of your mind, pastor? What do you mean change the name? Like, do you understand? Oh, it's easy for you to say, I think we should change the name. I'm the director of communications, and I don't think we should change the name. Because the long tail, did you know when we started the Think Media podcast that it was called the Think Marketing podcast for a year? Because I'm dumb and I didn't listen to wise people around me. I was like, well, I kind of want it to be like about marketing. And I think, and I have people like Tony Ariola and Cairo Anderson being like, yo, dog, why don't we just call it the Think Media podcast? Because that's like what our brand is. And so not only was I dumb, but we spent a year of naming the channel. And I mean, it may not have seemed that painful, but do you know how much angst I went through thinking about, like, we got to change the name, we got to change the graphics. And what about the 100 episodes that have the old name? Like if you go back, like go to Think Media podcast, maybe it doesn't seem that extreme, but this is the real stuff, right? Go to oldest, right? Welcome to Think Marketing with Sean Cannell and the Think team. The Think Marketing podcast. Now it's the Think Media podcast, because who would have thought that like that's actually been the name of our company? And sometimes the obvious answer and the simple answer is the best answer. It sucks sometimes to pull the Band-Aid off and change the name, change the brand, make the pivot. But I feel like this answer to this question isn't just for this individual, a king's creation. This is for somebody who's delaying making the move you know you need to make because that season is over. That stream is dried up. The Titanic is going down, but the future is bright, but you need to pivot. Like, you need to get repositioned for the future. You need to innovate and adapt. And you need to just embrace the suck of changing the name and changing the strategy, changing the game. You got to embrace whatever it is, and then realize what you'll realize is, here's what's waiting for you. Of course, I can't guarantee where you'll be or the growth or whatever, but like, it doesn't even matter it was called Think Media Podcast, because eventually it just gets buried. The point is when you just hit the gas and you accelerate into your future, the past disappears. You can dig it up if you go to oldest. Thank God they brought the button back. Were you frustrated? Like, why'd they take oldest away? Thank God, like, you could go back and you could see the history, but now, like, I think, I don't know, do we get like 5,000 subscribers a month or something? All relative. And, just saying that gratefully and humbly, whatever, like, growth. And I know it's all different. Don't compare yourself. Don't compare your beginning to, all of the above. But my point is this: we got 6,364 subscribers in the last 28 days. People didn't know about the Think Marketing podcast. So, like, a King's Creation, your future is forward. A new game is a chance for new subscribers. A new strategy is a chance for new impact. And it's much more about where you're going in the future than I know. There's past nostalgia, there's past fans, there's past subscribers, there's all that kind of stuff. And it's painful, but it sounds like you know what you need to do. The point is to courageously embrace and go into your future and just deal with the issues as they come. Oh yeah, that's also outdated too. I had to fix the bio. Oh, I haven't changed my about page. Like, forgot that was based on the old channel. Like, as things come up, just fix them as you go. But it's time to press the gas and embrace your future. My friends, I'm so glad the old button is back. We're here. Yeah, I appreciate it. Coffee with Cannell. We have a super chat to hit. We're landing the plane, and the pivot is real. I feel you. It's pivot time, Christian Kudnick. Thank you for being here. And thank y'all for hanging out with me today. As far as a couple, I am African. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. Praying for your wife. Thank you. Sincerely, it means the world. I really appreciate you. Should see her in about 30 minutes as she arrives home. Can't wait. Elephant though 999 says, I have some brain of my niche ideas. Like, just what does he mean by the emoji, or what do they mean? I have some thoughts. Yeah, there is a talk bubble emoji though. That's like the thinking bubble, but I have some brain of my niche. Like, I'm like super literal. I have some thoughts of my niche, but issues with organizing and conveying it. Any new video from Think Media about how to organize a YouTube video knowledge to make a video? Well, let's land the plane with the Amazon strategy when it comes to finding your niche. This isn't about how to organize a video. It's about how to find your niche though. And I do think that if you are having a lack of clarity about how to communicate your niche, it's probably not a good niche yet. You haven't developed it well. And here's what I mean. If it's hard to explain your business, if it's hard to explain your YouTube channel, if it's hard to explain your podcast, if it's hard to explain and takes longer than an elevator pitch to convey your idea, it's not a good idea yet. Like, there might be a good idea in there somewhere, but it's not a good idea yet if it's hard to explain. The Amazon test for niches, for YouTube channels, is simply this. You go to Amazon, you go to the book section, and then you look at the type of books that exist in the world. These are concrete, proven. Millions of books have been sold in every category. And you ask yourself, is my YouTube channel business and investing? Is it a health, mind, body channel? Is it religion and spirituality? Is it home and garden? Is it cooking? Is it computers? And then you ask yourself and you go, okay, it's business and investing. And you click on that on Amazon and you realize as you go inside of a category for books. By the way, there's entertainment in here. There's all that kind of stuff in here as well, right? As you click inside, where is it? It is gone. You should be able to go like this: business and money. Ah, yes. Here we go. Left side of the screen. Accounting, business and history, business culture, economics, finance, human resources. And you see the niches within the niches. Real estate, great niche. Taxes, a channel about saving taxes for business owners, great niche. Management and leadership channel, amazing. And sometimes you could click in and go even deeper. So you click on management and leadership and you start going, okay, business ethics. Now, these might also be series ideas. They might be topic ideas. This exercise is simply designed to help you look at, is it more about management? Is it more about decision making, or is that going to be a playlist that I do? But here is my point. If you are creating a niche on YouTube and you can't go find a pre-existing clear indication that lots of people are interested in this thing, you got to keep working. You got to keep working. So if you're having trouble explaining it, go make it concrete. If you want more help on that, we're actually going to be covering that on our free challenge as well. And I know it's actually very hard to clarify our niche, clarify what your topic is, etc. And so I would recommend that. I hope that helps. Then your videos flow out of that. But if you've got some thoughts on your niche, but issues organizing and conveying it, that's going to be the next step. If that sounds interesting too, and you want to be a part of our challenge, I think we can hit this again and we'll land the plane here. And you're not registered, check this out.
I want to invite you guys to our YouTube 1K challenge. You can join this challenge for free as we show you how to grow your first 1,000 subscribers and make your first $1,000 on YouTube. We've had countless people join us during this 1K challenge who are now at 1,000 subscribers and past 1,000 subscribers making money on YouTube. And you could be the next person. If you just go to tube1kchallenge.com, you can sign up for the very next challenge, and we can't wait to see you guys there.
Tube1kchallenge.com is the URL to register for the Tube 1K challenge. And super excited about that. My friends, this is the Coffee with Cannell show, where I drink not coffee today, but it is still the show. And we will have guests on in the future, as we did. We'll have Q&As in the future, as we did. I want to thank you for all the super chats and all the guests that came on. And we're trying to bring the show back weekly. I'm thinking we hit 3 times a month. I think that that's a lesson in and of itself. I'm like, let's hit it weekly. But if we do 2 times a month, it's better than 0, you know? So do I upload every week? Dude, just upload videos. Okay. Relax and upload some videos. Well, should I upload it on Tuesday or Thursday? Upload some videos. And then register for the Tube 1K challenge, because it's going to be worth your time. So tube1kchallenge.com is where that's at. Sending you massive love and respect and appreciation. The niches are in the reaches. That's right. I agree with you. Daphne, really appreciate you. Thanks for being here. And yes, it's time to crush. Tube 1K challenge is the next area to go to. I don't know how to get that banner off the screen, or maybe I'll just leave it up there. My name's Sean Cannell, rhymes with YouTube channel. Appreciate you. I will see you in a future Coffee with Cannell episode. Join me starting Monday for the free live challenge and the Think Media team. It's going to be incredible. Smash like if you got value in this video, and I will see you